Yeah, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Circus, circus, circus. We learned just about everything we needed to learn, just besides what? I mean, what's gonna happen in the future, pretty much? Like, man, guys, I am absolutely blown away with the full narrative of where this whole story could possibly go and where it actually is going right now. Um, we are in for quite a treat, guys. I do not know just how much we're going. What? How much we're going to see of Dean's backstory, but I'm pretty sure we're done with practically everything right now in the sense of actually needing to know um, what comes next. Dang, that was dirty. And I think we're gonna more or less learn now, um, just how and how much he can pretty much push this. And I think as of now, we know that Dean, Dean and the father of our main kid. He's a monster. Holy crap, he is a absolute monster. He pretty much is doing all the craziest things you can imagine some guy doing to obtain eternal life. And for some reason, I'm trying to figure out, um, since, okay, let's think about this. So the whole entire story is once we got our daughters to safety and away from the animatronics, or for the grandfather, he then gets this idea of I don't want her to know me because it will just cause pain and it'll cause misery, and if she did know him, she would have had probably a lot more targets on her head a lot quicker than she already did. So, not only did he try to protect her from a life that he didn't want her to live, but she still ended up in that life regardless because of certain people and certain aspects of just how all these things transpired. And they kind of finally give me a good enough reason to understand just the outline skirts of why they would be so deadly afraid of the dad being already back in control of, just his son's body in general, and why that would be problematic for, just them in general. So we pretty much see that his father's plan was to not only download his memories into his son that he didn't even care about, that he didn't want to raise, that he knocked up a chick and just said, "Hey, I'll pay you money and you raise him." Um, like that's already just the start of the things that he started in that kid's life just by being him. Not to mention the fact that after knowing that his stepbrother, or like someone that got with Angeline. I don't even know how she didn't know that he wasn't important or something, like, I think it was his little brother, but at the same time, I feel like he didn't know Dean, and then when all of a sudden, no, no, yeah, because this is his son, so this is his son, and somehow his son had eyes for a girl before his father, and his father got her pregnant, and as soon as she got pregnant, and he's been waiting this whole time for her to be like, "Oh, well, you're not the guy I want to be with." She gets pregnant, and then he's like, "Oh, well, she's clearly not the woman I thought she was. She should have left him and this and that, So we get this instance of him just kind of coming to the realization that she might actually be happy and that she might actually enjoy her life with this person. But of course, in his mind, all he heard was she's defected, and I pretty much should forget about her completely because she's trash. Um, so that's what he did, and because of that, he could work a lot more clearly and do a lot more things that were prohibiting him, simply because he didn't want to kill her. He still wanted to be with her, so why would he send a whole bunch of animatronics that wouldn't care to clarify who they're attacking? They'll just attack. He didn't want that to be, her and lose her life and then lose her. So that was kind of another clear indication that he probably had all these materials and things at his leisure, like all these ways to attack, and he just chose not to. So that's already one really crazy part about all of this is he knew exactly what he wanted to know, and he only attacked when he felt like everything wasn't going to work out for him. So this man, this man is just devilish. And after all that's being said and done, and he kills the woman that he even wanted to be with, and even helps, he was helping secure the soft rock to the animatronics, even if he had to. Um, then it all turns into him going into a village, giving them all the disease that makes them straight up choke to death, just to kind of get the father into an area where um, probably no one, more or less, that no one can help him. So not only does he have you in a spot where everybody is kind of incapacitated, he also has you in a situation where now, if you do try to run away and stuff like that, you're literally just leaving people to suffer and die. So every time his son had made any moves, it was always like a checkmate in his eyes. And that's the one thing that really kind of drives me towards this character, as I hate him even more, is because he thinks out stuff that both parties would seemingly be capable of doing, and follows through with his instincts of knowing you're going to play the cards exactly the way he dealt them. And with everything we know about the show from the beginning, they really tied it up now. Eleanor going to the circus was the father, not the grandfather, but the actual father of our boy, telling her to pretty much go there and wait. So then once she sees him and knows what her job is, or finds her job, then she just follows pursuit. So that was him setting that up. Not to mention, the grandpa was set up by reading these notes of he's bait, he's this, he's that, and it's the same exact thing that we saw the guy in the very first time we've ever had our kid kidnapped and taken to a whole new place with, like, bodyguards and a big mansion and stuff. He had the same exact book. But I'm pretty sure that guy blew up in the mansion. I'm pretty sure he died in the mansion. So if that was his father, that he would be like the stupidest guy ever. And that is clearly not the case with this guy. So I think he might have passed not much long ago, maybe, or maybe if he hasn't really passed. I mean, his mind has to be downloaded from somewhere, right? So he probably passed away putting his mind into whatever it is that needs to be downloaded. So, or I honestly, they didn't explain that part. That's the only part I can see them explaining, is how the downloading works. Why would he still be alive if he's downloading at the time? You know what I mean? Like, how is he going to force someone to download if he's not there to even explain it to? All this different stuff like that is probably what they're going to show us, and how he set it up verbatim. But yeah, we are learning quite a bit about that man. So not only does the grandpa pretty much fight his way out of this situation and try to just, get the upper hand so he can maybe escape, or maybe help the people that are still suffering when he doesn't really matter, and he wants those people not to be in bad shape. This man somehow knew this battle was going to pop off and probably be in a bad disposition for himself, including since he went out to this call because of the disease, and with knowing the disease was there, that's where animatronics are supposed to be. So if you see how this all was laid out, he was going to a place knowing he was going to get into a battle, just not knowing it would be against his own son. So then we get to pretty much understand that everything that has been transpiring has been him ever since he saw Eleanor at the place that guy left her. He went there still as like long-haired Dean. I guess he was he was posing when he was Dean. He was a Shimigami, but when he's the son, he's just a black-haired normal guy. But his whole entire plan is the thing that our main character with all the martial arts and stuff actually drank. What he drinks is something that comes from the soft stone. And whenever the soft stone is used, or whenever they want to do something with the soft stone, they can make that drink that gives you that much immortality, pretty much. So now that we know where that comes from and how that all works, that's pretty much the main goal for him at this point. And we now know that during all of this commotion and all the battling that was going on, the person who got away and lived, aka Eleanor, was the one who was carrying he was carrying the soft stone. She was the real reason why all of this was pretty much transpiring. And the only good thing is the dad seemingly didn't know that. I don't think he knows he's getting 3 things because he was still asking where the soft stone was, not believing that his own father would put something like that into his daughter, not let alone the one person he was trying to protect, from all of this in the first place. So somehow he doesn't know, or he's playing along like he doesn't know. And with the downloading of memory, he wanted Eleanor to protect the kid at all costs, give her body to him, do anything in her power to just protect. And that's what she's been doing. And because of that, he saw that because the girl that he loved protected, his father, or, they protected each other. He's like, if she protects the body that I'm downloading myself in, then I will have her, and I'll have my eternal youth, So this is a really, really messed up tale, guys. And right now, the guy who is in first place is the worst of the worst guy in the show. And we gotta live with that, man. We actually got to live with that. But yeah, overall, this show is absolutely amazing. This twist to get to this turn was absolutely worth it, and depending if we're even getting more backstory, it's still going to flesh out that much more stuff that we probably need to know before we get into this final stretch of just craziness that's about to pop off. Because even in the backstory, we see every single one of the animatronics that we saw inside of the basement in the downloading spot was with the Dean in the past, So these are the things that really open your eyes to this show, sprinkling in every ounce of information you need to know. This is how you could tell if they're going straight from the manga, if they're going straight from whatever source material. They're seemingly taking a lot from it and just making sure it all works out, and I love it. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. There's still so much more I could talk about, but I'll leave it at that. Hit me up in the comments if you guys are watching, and let me know if this is something else you guys might pick up if you're not watching it, because it is getting so fire. It's at 19 episodes out of like 36 or 37, so there's still quite a bit of stuff to come. and that's why I kind of expect more backstory. And if there is or not, I could care less because I'm gonna love it regardless, my anime people. So I hope you guys have a good night, day, evening, whatever the case it is you're watching this. And I'm the Anime G. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell for more when the content ends. So, oh, and the descriptions, I'll have pictures for this show and Promise Neverland. So if you guys want to see pictures of any of the shows I do, check in the description and you will see all of the clips from this week. So, all right, later.